Well, happy Sunday. It's like 11, well, that says 11:43, but hang on. It's really 11:45. So that's 2 minutes off my little clock over there. Um, Hi guys. It's June 14th, 2026, and I already said it's Sunday. Welcome. My name's Serena, and I have a very interesting. I just tried to go outside. Yeah, have a cigarette, but I'm going to try to get through this video. Per usual, I'm in a lot of pain. It's just everyday life. But for some reason, Spirit's really calling me right now to, I don't want to say all the things I've been through, but let's just put it this way. I have a lot of life experience in a lot of areas when it has to do with trauma. Okay, I have a lot of experience, things I've lived. So thank you. I'm getting so it's no wonder that they have me just talking. Do I offer services? No, but am I always available? Maybe. If you've I'll just name a few. So this is a trigger warning. SA from a little child. Through all my years, I had an extreme, rhymes with grape, where I was choked to passing out. Obviously, I survived. I've been held at gunpoint. I've had my boyfriends beat the shit out of me. I watched my mom get beat up my whole life growing up. I don't know, from 5 to 13 maybe, or 12 or something like that. So very volatile. My mom was murdered. My brother's gone. I came home and found Mike dead here last year. That's not counting all of the SA that happened to me by neighborhood boys, by older boys, by a family member from the time I was 4 or 5 to 11. It's been my whole life, and it's happened even when I got older. Happened a couple years ago, or last year again. Anyway, I have a lot of experience, so I've experienced a lot of things, and we've overcome that. But that's not, I don't want to focus on that, but for some reason it's so I have an understanding from my own perspective, that I can offer. They're telling me I can offer help, at least a good ear, at least to show you that you can. I'm sorry, but my back is so bad. It's so bad. I have a lot of experience that I could help speak with people about it, and I overcame it, and I'm still a loving person, and hasn't hardened me. And I think the only reason why that is because of what my soul is, and they just said what my mission is, whatever that is. But been through a lot. 444. The newest thing, in losing everything, and not knowing my family, and So yeah, I've been through um trying to be my being unalived, attempts on that. At one point I did die and come back. You know, and it doesn't seem to get better, except the only thing that's better is that moving past that trauma, coming home to myself. I was going to say coming home to it. That was my big thing about wanting to heal everything that I can't remember, because one of your I'm getting like one of the safety mechanisms when you have severe trauma when you're young, when you're a child, is amnesia. It just goes away. I used to make jokes about stuff, like I just never dealt with anything. I couldn't. I had a child. I had my first son 3 days after my 18th birthday. And, after I was nearly, raped and unalived, almost unalived, right? That was the point, I think. I ended up, after the hospitals and the police station, I mean, it happened in the morning, and it was nighttime, way late in the nighttime, and having to talk to all the detectives and all the hospital and everybody treating you like shit, and you just went through something so traumatic. And then once I got home, my oldest son, the only son I had at the time, I had to spend all night in the hospital after dealing with all that. Then I was all night in the hospital with him, so I never got to deal with what happened, because my son was sick, and I had to be in the hospital all night with him. And then after that, it was just, life goes on, right? Don't have time to feel sorry for yourself. Don't have time to cry. Don't have time to do that. So you just move on, move along. So that in itself, being a child born into straight hell, having to, and then having, your survival mechanism kick in to where you have to, you just don't remember, it's just not there. But the lasting effects of it are, right? No self-esteem, bad relationships, don't know what's wrong with you, don't know why you're sad, and then come to find out I've been an empath, so I didn't even know what that was. So dealing with all the anger and the situations and everyone else's emotions, let alone my own, very overwhelming. I think that's why they say most empaths, the survival rate isn't very low. But I just knew one thing. I knew I didn't want to be sad anymore. I knew there was things that happened that I needed to face and deal with. And in 2017, my journey began on that. And it was as horrific as I thought, like a horror movie. But the one thing I wanted to do is I didn't want to hurt myself or anyone else. I didn't want to hurt anyone else because of my pain. Because hurting people hurt people. I just wanted to get a grip on it. And I've done that. And I'm still working on it. I'm a way different person. I have succeeded so far to the point where I'm a different person now. I don't have to remember the traumas so vividly. Well, once they show you things, you can't unsee things. But even if it's in your mind's eye, right? But not having that anger inside which was just pain and hurt. So here we are, I live in pain every day with my back, but at least I'm sitting up and I can walk most of the time. And I can do things I haven't been able to walk since the other night. Go on my walks. I'm going to have to lay down though. For a second, hang on. But we don't, I was just laying down for a sec. God damn it. And I was getting, it's not about the trauma itself, but it's about the residual, the effects that it has on our psyche, on our personality, on how we view our world and how we view ourselves. Unfortunately, for some reason, when we're small children, we internalize things, and maybe as adults as well, we internalize things. And then there's predators out there, right? We tend to pick the ones that don't know how to show us love, the ones that are like, oh my God, you have daddy issues? Woo woo. I want that chick, because we're easily controlled. They could tell us anything and we'll feel like shit about ourselves. You know what I mean? But it's not focusing on that, but it's focusing on the residual effects that it has and coming out of that, right? Because the first trauma, no matter what your age, how they've always shown me, it sets the tone for your whole life. And trauma comes in many forms, many forms. Telling your children, shut up, or I don't like you, get the fuck out of here, just shut the fuck up, or say things to your small children. They don't understand. Are you fucking kidding me? You are setting in their head, in their subconscious, you're setting the tone for their life. Oh, they'll be fine. But they're not, because it shows up later on in how we are and how we view the world and how we view our relationships. It's amazing how any of us don't all turn out to be psychotic, sociopath, serial killers. You know what I mean? Some women have one bad experience with one man and they hate men their whole entire lives. I feel sorry for those women. I get it, but I feel sorry. I've never been one of those people. I've always been loved. So, which is ironic because all I've ever wanted in my life is love. I mean, someone to truly love me without condition, right? Agape love. To see past the trauma and all of that and truly just embrace and love you and help work through. But most people are running around fucked up, and it's going to get worse. It's probably worse because there's so much that happens in this world. But I just didn't want to hurt people anymore. I didn't want to hurt anymore. I wanted to be able to be more stable in my emotions, and I got there. I might live in pain every day, and I'm limited at what I can do, but I'm still here. I know it's not much of a life, but it's still alive, and I'll still do this. But anyway, I don't know. I'm just feeling, oh my gosh, it's the new moon today. Woo, bring it up. The shadow, the dark side of the moon. Anyway, your dragon card is Lilac Fire Dragon. I guess what I'm trying to say is, if you ever feel called to reach out, not for fuckery, but you've been traumatized. Now, obviously, I'm not a man, and I can't, understand. But I just got a notification. But I have lived many things, and I have overcome them. A lot of things. And I shouldn't even be walking or sitting now. It's a miracle. No doctors, no pain medication. I self-medicated for a long time. But when you've had whatever your traumas are, if it's only been one or if it's been your whole entire life like me, one thing after another. I forgot what I was going to say. Because of our amnesia, because of our survival, I'm not going to say our defense mechanism, I'm going to say our survival technique that was instilled in us, is that's how we were able to survive and continue with our life without being psychotic, maybe psychotic episodes. But it's learning how to get in touch with your emotions and feelings. It's hard. And that's why most people don't do what they call the work, because you got to face a lot of things. For me, the hardest thing was facing myself in the part I played as an adult, regardless of what happened to me, still responsible for myself, and how I have been. It's just a whole new way of learning to be. Because, maybe you were cut off from your emotions. Not that you never felt anything, but cut off to the point. It takes one to know one, right? I can't really put words into it. There is victory at the end of that. So it's learning how to totally be different and living. It's like having amnesia without, no, it's not like having amnesia. It's just learning how to move in through life through a totally different lens, through a totally different way about it's so hard for me to concentrate. Anyway, I'm here. I'm here. And, if nobody ever gets a hold of me, that's fine. But if you're really serious and truly just need someone to talk to, and you want to be different and you want to let go of all that pain and stuff, I've been there. I have actual life experience, not from a fucking book, not from a book, but from actual life itself. And if you're serious, I would love to, hey, I'm here. Get a hold of me, my email or whatever. If you're serious, am I going to charge you hourly? No. But if I can help you, I would love to do that. And if you found it, if in your heart to donate, I have needs that I need. I need toothpaste, I need mascara, I need, I'm going to need toilet paper again. You know what I mean? I need everyday living things, gas and light, whatever. Donations would always be welcome. And, I think I don't know if it's still in my description, but, depending on, if you just want to talk, that's fine. But if something comes up and a message comes through, I'll give you that message. If I needed to pull cards, I'll do that. If something comes through, says, work with this crystal, or let me help you with some Reiki, or let's do this, or maybe you need to do this as prescribed by the Father. Your prescription is hand crafted, so to speak, per each person from the Father. I don't know what people charge for Reiki sessions, but I can do all kinds. I could do the magnetic clearing, I could do the psychic surgery, all those things. I could do a lot of things. We have many gifts that have been bestowed upon me, but I must not be ready yet. There's probably more, but I don't know. To each his own. Lilac Fire Dragon. That's beautiful. Transmutes through the power of divine love. Oh, how perfect. Open up to transcendent love and enlightenment, purity of heart brings peace, hope, and joy. All it takes is the wanting and the willingness for you to want to be different. That's it. And then strap in and hold on tight. But it's worth it. It is worth it. It is worth it. I don't know. Was a weird, to me, this is a weird message for today. It's a frequency. And there's probably healing things that I don't even know about that will come about when we work together. Yeah, weird when we work together. So I don't know. Something's shifting and changing perhaps. I've thought this before and it's never happened. And that's okay. That's okay because I stay, thank you. They're like, you stay loyal. I still, this is a test of the EBS, the Earthbound Soul System. My therapy, my growing and learning comes from Father, comes from Spirit. And I'll tell you what, that's the hardest fucking shit. Because there's no mercy. There's no sugarcoating shit. It's in your face. This is the way it is. Buck up, little soldier. And you know, speaking of which, I gotta do that to myself. When I can't move and stuff, I just say, Sirena, you stupid bitch. Sirena, get the fuck up. Sirena, get up. Walk. You have to. You cannot stay like this. Stay determined to move forward. Be prepared for any possibility. Environmental activism. Because we're the only ones that can get anything done. Because we run our human. And I don't know, getting past the human in that soul mission thing they were talking about. I don't know. Anyway, I apologize. I did not. I mean, I shouldn't apologize. I mean, it is what it is. I do what I'm told when I'm called to talk about some things. Here we are. Namaste. Peace. Love you.